Hey guys, it's Max. Welcome to the best and worst cameras of 2016 part 1. And I'm here, joining me is Dan Watson from Learning Cameras.
Hey, how's it going?
So this is our first time doing a video like this, at least my first time doing a dual webcam video. Is it yours as well?
Yeah, this is the first time doing this.
So it's pretty cool. I'm here in Washington State where it's about 30 degrees outside. Snow is covering everything. And Dan is in Florida, right?
Yeah, Orlando, Florida. So we were at 70 degrees up until today. It got a little colder today.
Nice. So you could still shoot some nice looking things for your reviews.
Yes.
Get some nice footage where I just have snow right now, just dirty snow. So that's one downside of being here. So so there might be some mistakes in this video or some issues that come up since it's our first time. So we're just kind of going to go with it, and hopefully you guys enjoy this video. So we're going to start out in this video talking about our favorites or the best cameras of 2016. Then we're going to talk about some predictions for 2017, and then part 2 of this video is going to talk about the worst cameras. So I'll be talking about video on the video side. Dan will be talking about the photo side. So make sure you guys go and check out that video after you watch this one. There's going to be a link in the description to that one, so you guys can go watch that. It's definitely going to be interesting. And then make sure you guys subscribe to Dan's videos as well. I'm sure a lot of you guys are already on there, but if you're not, check out some of his videos. There's some really great stuff, and hit that subscribe button. And so we're going to go ahead and start talking about the best cameras of 2016, or our favorite cameras. And Dan's going to start out with talking about on the photo side.
Yeah, so there were a lot of new cameras that came out, especially towards the beginning of the year. We had Canon 5D Mark IVs, we had the Nikon put out the D500 and Nikon D4, and then there have been some, on the flip side, on the end of the year, we had the Sony A6500 and the X-T2 from Fuji. So I'll talk about my personal favorite, and it's going to be a little bit different this year than what I would typically do, and it's going to be the Fuji X-T2. And the reason why is it's a camera that made me love photography again. It's not just for doing business or shooting something. It was just a camera that was fun to use. It takes great pictures. The speed is nice. The overall ergonomics are great. It just has a lot of cool features on it, and it makes shooting a lot of fun. And so you have any thought? I mean, I know you use that camera as well, so what did you kind of think using it?
Well, I also want to mention that we did not rehearse this, and we did not tell each other what our choices are going to be, just to make it a little bit more interesting. So I'm glad you're saying that too. I used it for almost 3 months, and I loved it. Honestly, I loved it a lot more than I thought I would. I thought it'd just be an average camera, and I ended up really liking it. The controls are good, the lens line up. So I agree with you. And it's cool that you said not just for professional use, but just for enjoyment. So great camera. So I'm thumbs up. I'm glad you said that.
Yeah.
And so runner-ups.
Yeah, the runner-up is actually a camera I didn't get to do a full review on. I didn't expect it to be that wonderful to me. It was just kind of a little bit of a repeat, but that's going to be the Nikon D500. And it's a traditional DSLR. There wasn't a whole lot that seemed very new about it, but overall, it just seemed to bring about all of the little bits and pieces from a lot of camera systems. It had good solid speed. The image quality was great. Low ISO performance was great. And so overall, and it does have the ability to do some cool video things. On the video side with 4K, there were some limitations with how long it could record and little things like that. But it just seemed to be kind of the best for DSLRs at the moment, and it brought that back into the limelight. Now, there were some other cool cameras that came out, but it was a really complete system, and it was overall just a great camera.
Nice. Yeah, I thought that's another huge one. I know a lot of people love that camera. I didn't personally use it. I know it does have 4K, just with a decent amount of crop there. So I didn't do a review on that, but I heard a ton of great things, especially about the autofocus and the tracking. And of course, it's a larger DSLR. And some people are using it with the Sigma 50 to 100 1.8, so you're kind of getting a full frame look in that way. Yep. So definitely one of the best cameras of 2016.
Yep.
All right, anything else to add on that, or anything you may have missed?
Those were definitely my my tops for that one. I will say that the Sony A99 Mark II was a new one that came in, and it's one that I haven't really gotten to test out as much as I would have liked. I got to play with it for a couple of days. My full model hasn't come in yet. It's been back ordered, and so that is one that kind of could have been on that list, I think, but I didn't get enough chance to play with it and really test it out to confirm that to me. But on the photo side, it really seems like you've got the speed and the performance and overall image quality to make it a top camera. So I wanted to kind of sneak that one in, but honestly, I didn't get enough time to really use it in good situations for what I would like to use my cameras in to really tell on that one. So
are you getting, is that a review model, or did you actually buy one of those for personal use?
So this one is a review model. I had it on order. I ended up canceling the order when I found out that autofocus performance doesn't work during video recording. It's a feature that for me needs to work for some of the type of YouTube things that I did, or some of the uses I had for this camera. Mm-hmm. And a lot of cameras are now coming out with decent autofocus, and I wanted that. And if you do that, it only shoots in program auto, and so that was kind of a limitation on that one for me. So right now I'm taking a wait and see to see if I can kind of live around that and get a review model in, and maybe I'll go buy it from there depending on what I conclude from that one. Or I might just keep it as a general photo camera. It might just be so good it'll replace all my current equipment, and I'll pick up those for the photo work that I do, and then separate cameras for video.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember messing around with it in Texas. Yeah, Austin, Texas. All right. Well, let's go to the video side. So the camera I'm going to give the award to is the Sony A6500. Just like you canceled your pre-order on the A99 II, I canceled my pre-order because of the contest, the Sony contest. And now I still don't have one in. I know you have your hands on one, so you rented one, right?
Yeah, so I have it here, and I just got this in about 2 days ago, actually, and I'm still waiting on another one. But yeah, this one I had to get in just to be able to finish them up, and I have a couple of weddings that I wanted to shoot with this thing on, so we'll see.
So the reason why I gave the award to this camera is not because it's the best camera. I mean, I guess the topic of this video is the best camera. I guess I should say it's not the best camera for everybody. It definitely has limitations. It just has some things that are really frustrating about it. A lot of little things that I wish ergonomically and ease of use wise would be updated. But having a camera that has such a nice image, such a good dynamic range, not even including the S-Log, just the standard profiles have really nice dynamic range. The image looks nice, very low noise, and you have the built-in image stabilization. You don't have a headphone jack, but the preamps for the audio are really impressive compared to other hybrid cameras. So just all those things, and the 6K downscaling to 4K give a really nice detailed image. And for $1,400, I just think it's really impressive. I like the Fuji X-T2 execution overall better, the ergonomics, the screen, stuff like that. And of course, Panasonic has its upsides, but just the image that you get and the features for that low of a price, I don't think it really can be beat. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, so this was the hardest one for me because it's a camera that I wanted so much to like and so much to buy, because you can't beat the quality. The quality out of this for a $1,500 camera is simply unbeatable. And the feature set is also amazing with the S-Log and built-in stabilization and stuff like that. So from a standpoint like that, you just absolutely can't beat it. And I know we got a chance to play around with these a lot in Austin, which was nice, but some of the things for me that kind of kept me from picking up the A6300 permanently, and this one would keep me from just going out and buying a couple of them right now, is I struggled with some of the ergonomics on it, moving the screen around, not being limited on that one, having to install apps to get certain things on it. There were also overheating became an issue for me when I was shooting some reviews. And actually, when I was recording the A6300 review, I was using another A6300 to do it, and it overheated on me twice for that one. So, I mean, I'm going to play around with the A6500. I'm going to use it for some gimbal work for sure. I don't know that I can use it for my steady video camera because of that. But if you need quality out of a camera, that's simply unbeatable.
Especially for that price.
Yes.
Like you said, yeah, you mentioned it overheating on you. So I did buy a 6300. I've used it quite a bit. And we'll talk about gear that we use in your part of the video. So you guys make sure to watch that one. But I've shot a lot of reviews on the 6300, and it overheats basically every time. I have to put a different battery in, I have to give it a couple minutes, and it's literally the most frustrating camera I've owned. But I haven't got rid of it, even though I've got frustrated so many times just because of the image and for that money. So that's my choice for the best. The runner-up is the Fuji X-T2. Like, you chose it for the main camera. For video, I just was so impressed by what they did. Their first time getting serious about the video features, what they were able to do. Some camera companies, it takes them so long to refine stuff and to improve on their design, or there's some things that are good, some things that are bad. And this camera's not perfect. It definitely has some issues, some firmware things hopefully that can get fixed, some hardware things. But overall, compared to the X-T1, my wife, she just sold her X-T1, but compared to that and going in the X-T2, the 4K looks great. The rolling shutter is not bad at all. The image, the colors, the autofocus is really impressive on the video side as well. You have F-Log externally. So I like you said, you were surprised, like you really enjoyed using it as a camera, right? Even for non-professional work. Same thing for me. I don't know what it is about it that makes you just enjoy it. Like, I wanted to use it. You know, I used it quite a bit. Just left my 6300 and my other cameras, and I use it for various work. So I don't know. It's just a great product. I guess they did a really good job, and I'm excited to see what they do with the X-T3. And you didn't buy a X-T2, right?
I have not bought it.
And you're probably not gonna...
Well, if I had, it's on my list. I am looking to upgrade my cameras that I use for video, and I'm trying to settle on a single system, and I'm confused between a lot of them. Right now I'm using we'll talk about it a little bit, I guess, but right now I'm looking to change out and upgrade some of my cameras. I'm really curious about this new Olympus that's coming out. What is it, the M1?
It has the worst name.
Yeah,
it has the worst name ever.
The Mark II of that one, and that looks really interesting. With GH5, it's probably going to come out in the first half of the year too. So there are a couple things that are coming up that could be really cool cameras. Yeah,
a lot of exciting things. Same thing for me. I didn't buy it, but there was a couple. Basically, if I had an image stabilization in a Canon, like if I could use some of my Canon lenses, like the Sigmas, the 18 to 35, I think that would have sealed the deal. But that's something that I really need, and sometimes when you need it, you can't move on. You can't just, you can't settle, I guess, if your gear is kind of working for you already. So, but it's a great camera, and I've recommended it to a lot of people. All right, so let's talk about future predictions. Do you have any predictions for 2017?
Well, Canon, we've been waiting for an upgrade for the Canon 6D for a little while. That was a camera that I know a lot of people liked and a lot of people used. I personally hated it. It seemed like a mix of a bunch of different Canon took the sensor from this and the autofocus from this and kind of combined them together into a camera that didn't seem perfect for anyone really. And so no matter what I was shooting, I felt like I was limited. And I'm hoping for a version 2 of that one that kind of combines some of the best aspects of a bunch of different cameras into more of an entry-level full-frame camera to compete with like Nikon's D750 or something like that. So that's a big one I'm hoping for from Canon. It might be the first time we see 4K in a DSLR from them that's not extremely limited. Who knows what they'll do. They might keep the motion JPEG and stuff like that from the Canon 5D Mark IVs. I don't know. It's potentially an area for them to do something new, and we'll see if they jump to that task.
So on the video side, my biggest thing, nobody's really talking about this very much, is the A7S III. And if people haven't noticed yet, Sony kind of broke their super fast update cycle on that camera. So if they would have just kept the cycle up, we should have seen something about September, I think is when the last one was announced. But we're not seeing anything. So I think there's something good in the works. My guess, basically I guess is something with 4K 60 FPS and maybe a larger megapixel sensor, so you can do If you could do like APS-C crop on the camera as well. I don't know if they'll do anything with 10-bit or anything like that, but possibly a body redesign, possibly dual card slots, and 4K 60 is what I think most people would like to see. And the rumors are, and I think it's already official, right? 60 FPS for the GH5.
Yes, I think that's what we're seeing.
So I think that's like officially announced. So I think it'd be smart of them to do something like that, and that'd be a good reason to get everybody that's sticking with the A7S or A7S II to actually upgrade. So I guess we'll see what happens. But a lot of new cool cameras coming out, a lot of fun toys to play with.
Yeah, now, I mean, there are a bunch of... Sony has some room to grow on the lens side for the APS-C lineup. That's another reason that kind of kept me from jumping in on those, is that there really aren't any good f2.8 zooms for APS-C. They got a good amount of primes, but the only f2.8 zoom that we've got for something like that is going to be the new G Master, and that's like $2,300.
Yeah, it's large and it's heavy and expensive, so...
Mm-hmm. So that kind of glues you down to f4 lenses if you want to do zoom lenses, and that's kind of big. I mean, Fuji's got 2.8 lenses, Canon's got 2.8 for APS-C, Nikon, everybody else. So that's really a limitation for their APS-C line that I hope they take care of.
Yeah, definitely. That's why I only have 2 native Sony lenses for that camera, because I'm using Canon lenses adapted to get that faster speed. All right, so I think this is going to wrap up part 1 of this video. And make sure you guys go and check out part 2. There's going to be a link in the description to Dan's channel, Learning Cameras. And there we're going to talk about the worst cameras of 2016 and also the gear that we, I guess, currently own and use. So any finishing thoughts or anything like that, Dan?
That sounds about right. It's kind of cool that we have, pretty much the same type of cameras that we're running with it between 1s and 2s. And I know we got a lot of time to play with some of the Sony cameras together. So it was cool hearing that. We didn't rehearse any of this stuff beforehand, so it was interesting hearing the favorites of the cameras.
Yeah, so let us know what you guys think in the comment section below on my channel or on Dan's. And if you guys like this, if you guys enjoy it, we might do some more stuff like this in the future.
Absolutely.
And so, yeah, make sure you guys go check out part 2 and subscribe to Dan's channel as well, and we'll see you guys in that video.